Everyone. I'm Lauren Moy of Graduate Business Career Relations, and I'd like to welcome you to Networking and Using LinkedIn in 2022. Let's get started. So I just wanted to share that if you have any questions, please put them into the chat and we'll have a time of Q&A at the end. Well, let's start off by just talking about networking. So what is networking and why is it so important? Well, networking is the building of professional relationships for the exchange of information for mutual benefit. You can think of it as creating professional friendships. And I think the key word here is the mutual benefit. So I think a lot of people feel that networking is awkward. And I think the reason for that is they don't want to bother people. And people approach networking more to get things from people. But if you think of it as mutual beneficial, right, that it's not just about getting, but it's giving as well. So if you have a friend and your friend just keeps taking from your friendship, but doesn't offer anything in return, you're probably not going to be friends very long. And so you really want to think about networking that way too. You want to be that, there's that give and take in the professional networking relationship. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics says that 70% of jobs are achieved through networking. And so you want to look at networking not just to get a job, but to learn about jobs and careers. And research tells us that 85% of jobs are never advertised anywhere. So the only way you're going to find out about that hidden job market is through networking. So when you're networking, have this mindset. So be positive, show enthusiasm, have eye contact, and smile. That's so important, right? And it's that first impression that you're giving to people. And then don't stay in your comfort zone. I remember going to a networking event when I was trying to break into career services, and I was actually on a lunch line waiting to get lunch, and the director of career services of one of the companies I wanted to work for was standing in front of me. I was a little bit nervous, but I spoke with her while we were waiting to get lunch, and then I asked her if I could have lunch with her, and she agreed. So that made me a little bit nervous, but I was so happy. And a few months later, I actually got a job offer. So don't stay in your comfort zone. Take some risk there. Also, ask for information, not jobs, right? So a lot of times employers or alumni will agree to give you information to meet with you, but perhaps, they didn't say that they would give you a job. And focus on what you can learn, again, not on what you can get, and maintain a good conversation balance, that balance between speaking and listening. And be grateful and don't expect too much. I think sometimes people expect too much. They have one informational interview and then they expect the alumni to refer them to their company. Just be grateful for whatever someone's willing to offer you. And then also offer assistance. Well, thank you so much for your help today. Now, how can I help you? And also relax and have fun making new contacts. Whenever you go to a networking event, you want to be ready with your elevator pitch. And the elevator pitch is this short commercial about yourself. It can be 30 seconds or 2 minutes long. 30 seconds is what you would have for a networking event. You would have a 2-minute elevator pitch when you're going to a job interview. Quite often, that first question in the interview is, tell me about yourself. So for the 30-second elevator pitch, you want to say who you are, So I'm an MBA in marketing, accounting, finance, analytics student, and I'll be graduating in, right? And then why you're qualified. So I'm an aspiring marketing analyst, and maybe mention the skills and experience you have. And then why you're there and how you can benefit a company. Here's an example. Hi, my name is Lauren Moy. I'm an aspiring digital marketing analyst, and I'll be graduating in May with an MBA in marketing and analytics from Hofstra. Last summer, I had a digital marketing internship at HBO where I used Google Analytics to measure the effectiveness of social media campaigns, which helped grow the company's brand and sales by 15%. And I'm looking for an opportunity to use my marketing and data skills to help companies grow their brand and sales. You also want to stand out at networking events. And the way to do that is, first of all, to think of what your goal is. So the goal at this networking event is to really learn and build relationships. So what you want to do is start off by finding out who will be attending. And quite often at our GBCR events, we will post the panelists and their names on Handshake the week of the event. And also we will be emailing the students that information. And then you're going to want to research their company, their LinkedIn profile, and come prepared to the event with a few thoughtful questions to ask. You will really stand out. Also, be ready with your elevator pitch. So practice that beforehand. Dress professionally, or at least business casual. And after the event, you want to connect on LinkedIn. And then you want to send a personalized request. And you want to say, thank you for coming to Hofstra and speaking on a panel. I learned a lot from you, right? And then also, ask if they would give you a brief virtual chat. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So quite often, students may do 1 to 5, but then they don't ask for that virtual chat. And it's the students that go the extra mile, ask for the virtual chat, spend 20 to 30 minutes speaking to an employer or an alumnus after the event. And then that employer will remember that student. And later on down the road, maybe a few months from now, they might be hiring for an internship or a job, and they will remember you. When you go to a career fair, it's a little bit different than a networking event, because the goal here also is to learn and build relationships, but all the employers at the fair, they want to hire students. So you want to get a job, right? So here's a strategy. So first, you want to research the companies, and you want to create your top 10 list of employers that you want to meet with. And then have a strategy. So when you're at the career fair, perhaps meet with company number 3 or 4 first. Don't meet with your top company, because you're going to be a little bit nervous at the career fair, right? So kind of get out your jitters with that first company. And then start meeting with the top companies and go down your list. Before the fair, you want to research the jobs in advance that company's hiring for. Sometimes they will list it on Handshake, sometimes they don't, and you have to check their company website. But you want to be equipped with how you're a match for a specific job. And then you want to practice your targeted elevator pitch. So in that middle section, you want to really emphasize, I saw that you're recruiting for a financial analyst that has advanced Excel skills and financial modeling. And I have those skills, right? So you really also want to dress professionally. Here, you want to up your game a little, wear the suit and the tie, dress professionally, and know why you're interested in the company. We just had a networking event, Meet the Global Firms, on Wednesday. And Joe Maturando, he talked about how important it is for him when students want to work at EY, to know specifically why EY and not another company. What is it about their company that interests you, right? So do that research and be able to tell an employer why their company. And bring resumes. Try to bring maybe 20 resumes to the event. And it's so important, after the event, send a thank you email and attach a copy of your resume again. So while you're at the event, you'll need to ask the recruiter for their email or ask if you can connect with them on LinkedIn. And I call virtual chats or informational interviews the ultimate networking technique, because this is a way for you to build internal advocacy inside a company, get advice and recommendations, and then turn a stranger actually into a mentor. And you also get to learn about industries, companies, and jobs. Again, if an alum agreed to have an informational interview with you, they didn't agree to give you a job. So it's important that you don't ask for a job. I've had some students that made that mistake. They had a great informational interview, but then at the end, they said, can you give me a job? And that really put the alumni on the defensive because they didn't have a job for them, and then they felt bad. So you don't want that to happen to you. A lot of times we're doing these networking events in person now, which is awesome. But you also will want to follow up with a virtual chat. And quite often the chat's going to be virtual because of the convenience. And so you want to present your virtual best. If an alumnus set up a time to meet with you and they only have 30 minutes, you want to make sure that you checked your tech in advance and it's in good order and ready to go. So make sure your web camera is framed in the center. I know it might sound funny, but I've had virtual meetings with students where I saw the top of their head or the bottom of their chin, right? You want to make sure that you're framed in the center. Also, you want to make sure that your internet is in good working order and that you're not going to get disconnected while you're talking to the employer. Make sure the lighting is behind the camera and not behind you, because if it's behind you, all they're going to see is a flash of light and not be able to see your face. And then you want to power up your laptop or your phone, make sure you don't run out of power during the meeting, and then test your microphone also. So we how to prepare for that virtual chat, that informational interview. Well, beforehand, you want to research the alumnus's profile on LinkedIn, their company, and prepare those lists of questions. And then dress professionally, at least from the waist up, and then check your tech, right? And as you begin the chat, you want to say, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with you today, and reiterate to the alumnus, I'm an aspiring financial analyst, data analyst, digital marketing analyst, accountant, right? And would really appreciate your career advice. And you could also give them your 30-second elevator pitch. Always keep in mind your audience when you're doing your elevator pitch. So every time you talk to someone, you need to adjust your pitch a little. Especially if you know the background of the person that you're speaking with, you want to be relevant to that person. And ask if it would be okay to take some notes, because you want to remember the conversation. You also want to track your time. So you want to say, do you have 20 minutes or 30 minutes today? I really want to respect your time. And so part of being a great manager is having time management skills. So you really want to track your time. And when you have 5 minutes left, you want to say, oh, do I have time for one more question? We're at the 25-minute mark. So here are some questions that you could ask during the chat. So what trends are impacting your job and business now? What has been the most valuable project? What qualities and skills does your employer value? One of the ones I really like a lot is, what are the greatest challenges or opportunities in your field? That's a great question, because if you get a job interview for that company and you know the answer to that, you can start and you can ask them, like, how are you addressing some of those challenges? You're getting insider information. And then when you're on a job interview, you can tweak your interview answers to be more relevant to that employer. What are some of the key success factors in your line of work? And what keeps you up at night? So also, at the end of the coffee chat, ask to keep in touch, ask for an email address or to connect on LinkedIn if you haven't already. And it's so important to say thank you and summarize any learnings that you got, how you benefited from their chat. And also, again, offer to help. Well, thank you for offering to connect me with so-and-so. And, you know, I would like to know if there's anyone in my network you would like to be connected with. That's an easy way to give back. Okay, so now we're moving on to LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is such a powerful online network with 810 million members. 98% of Fortune 500 companies are on LinkedIn. So you want to build your professional profile on LinkedIn, and we're going to talk a little bit about how to do that. You can use LinkedIn to build your professional brand, do research. You can also reach out to different groups, professional groups based on your field of interest. And then you can turn relationships into opportunities. So some people I know some students have joined professional groups. Let's say you're an accounting student, you can join a professional accounting group on LinkedIn, and then there'll be discussions. And you want to offer an opinion to some of the discussions that are going on. And you have an opportunity to connect with any professional in that group. Some people have turned it into either internships or jobs based on participating in discussions in groups. So LinkedIn is so powerful. Just by creating 386 first-degree connections, that will empower you to have over 100,000 second-degree connections. A first-degree connection is you know the person directly. A second-degree connection is somebody in the second degree knows your first-degree connection. Right? So just wanting to show you the exponential power of LinkedIn, just by having 386 first-degree connections, you can reach out to 4.5 million people on LinkedIn. That's mind-boggling. As a master's student, you want to continue to expand your network, connect with friends and family, those that you want to connect with professionally. It's not Facebook, right? Although sometimes what people post now, I wonder, sometimes they're posting things I think should only be on Facebook, but that's another conversation. Connect with professors, colleagues, and managers, professional associations, and ZARB students and alumni. Especially if you're a first-year student, I highly encourage you to connect with second-year students. Many students have gotten jobs and internships through their connections with other students at Hofstra. And also connect with us at GBCR. We're happy to connect with you as well. So you want to create a powerful LinkedIn profile, one that is a recruiter magnet. I've had students that have such powerful LinkedIn profiles that they were getting interviews by recruiters reaching out to them on LinkedIn. Wouldn't that be great? And so you want to have an all-star profile, which enables you to be 40 times more likely to be found on LinkedIn. In order to do that, you need to have all of this in place. You need to have a profile picture. Just by having a professional profile picture, you're 14 times more likely to be found. Write your headline, your summary, your experience section, education, include the skills section, at least 5 skills, and industry, and have at least 50 connections on LinkedIn to reach that all-star status. So have a great headline. What I want to say is LinkedIn, the recruiters are doing searches on LinkedIn, and you need to incorporate keywords from job postings for positions that you're going after if you want employers to find you. So you want to also make use of that headline. That could be a great place to have the keywords. That's your 5-second bumper sticker. What can you do for me? You can use up to 220 characters. Quite often, I just see students write Hofstra student or Hofstra MBA student, right? Yet that's a waste of a headline space. You really want to think of, okay, here are some examples. You could put aspiring financial analyst, an MS in finance student, and then add those skills, those key skills you have. Also, MBA in business analytics candidate. Again, here, analyze big data sets and develop insights to help drive sales, right? What is your value proposition? What can you offer an employer? And then maybe list some of those key skills, like here, advanced Excel, SQL, Python, and Tableau. And then, another example for the marketing candidates. Also, in the skills and endorsements section, you really want to look at LinkedIn profiles of people that are in aspirant roles, the role that you want next when you graduate, and what skills are in their LinkedIn profile. And then do a skills gap analysis and say, okay, what skills do I have today? And what skills does that alumnus have that I don't have? And then make a plan to acquire those skills. There's just so many great opportunities to do that. We have a new tool called Management Consulted, where you can develop strong Excel skills and business and case analysis skills. You could check it out. Also, LinkedIn Learning has training, Coursera, Udemy. And in Udemy, if you go to the cost section, you can click free and you can take free courses in Udemy. So be a lifetime learner and keep ramping up your skills. And it's never been easier. I mentioned joining LinkedIn groups a little bit earlier. Really all you need to do is to go to the group section on the drop down and type in some keywords, either accounting, finance, marketing, healthcare, whatever your field of interest are, and up will pop different groups. You want to be selective and choose groups where there's, a lot of people in it, because it's probably very popular and be a great opportunity for you to connect with many professionals in the same field. You also want to join the Hofstra, join our LinkedIn group, the Zarb Graduate Business Career Relations group on LinkedIn. We will post jobs and articles and networking events not found anywhere else, not on Handshake. So you want to connect with us there. And also there's a Zarb School of Business alumni group that you'll want to connect with. Use the alumni tool on LinkedIn. This is a very powerful tool. All you have to do is go in the search bar and put Hofstra in, and then you will see that Hofstra has over 86,000 alumni. And right now, I think the number is like almost over 57,000 alumni in the greater New York area. So it will give you information about where these alumni work, and you can click on those numbers and actually see who the alumni are, so you can connect with them. So it's so important when you're connecting with others on LinkedIn that you send a personal note when you're sending that connection request. Don't use the default, right? Take a few minutes and just do that. So, hello, here's an example. Hello, I'm a first-year MBA student at Hofstra, and I'm considering entering the blank fields. I noticed you're a Hofstra alumnus. I'm impressed with your background, and would you be open to a brief chat to provide career advice? Thanks. So Hofstra has wonderful alumni, and many will reach out back to you, although there are some that are not on LinkedIn very often, so they may not reach out back, but don't get discouraged. Just keep trying. And you can make an appointment with us in GBCR. We have many connections to alumni, and we can talk about, in one of our appointments. We can talk about your career interests and also who are some alumni that we can help connect you with. So you also want to create your job search plan. This is when you want to apply for jobs using LinkedIn. It's very powerful because you're not just applying for a job, but you can also see if you have a first or second level connection, and you want to network your way into the company. So don't just apply, network your way in. And you can also edit your job preferences to let recruiters know that you're looking for a job. And then also there's a pretty new easy apply feature under the filters that makes it easier. They ask you just a few questions, and it makes it a lot easier for you to apply for jobs. So you want to check that out. LinkedIn is a great way for you to make quick connections. Easy first introductions. It's very strategic. So if you want to meet a director of finance and investment banking and Hofstra, you can do director and investment banking and Hofstra, and up will come all of these alumni. So it's easy to use strategically. But to really build meaningful relationships, there's no substitute for the face-to-face, either in person or virtual. And quite often, in person, you will be able to connect much more meaningfully. So again, use LinkedIn, but then, also have that balance between using LinkedIn and having these virtual chats or in-person meetings. And again, be that networker that offers to help, and then also keep in touch with people and show value. So even though you may have had that virtual chat, and then maybe 3 months from now you landed an internship, and you want to let them know that the advice they gave you was helpful and that you got the internship, right? Or that you can also on LinkedIn give updates about yourself, that you got a new certification, that you attended a terrific networking meeting, and you learned, and say what you learned. Here are some success stories. Victoria Myers graduated with an MBA in marketing, and before she graduated, she landed a job as an assistant strategist with Horizon Media. She attended a Horizon Media information session, and from there, she had a virtual chat with a panelist. And then when she applied, right, she got an interview. Okay, so she made that connection. By having these virtual chats, you're not just one resume in a pile of 1,000, but you're someone that has a connection with somebody inside that company. And and then after graduation, she actually is now a digital sales planner for NBC Universal. And she landed that second job right after graduation. Another success story is Nick Lissandro. He got his MBA in finance, and he's currently working for JP Morgan Chase as an analyst of bank loans. But when he was a student here at Hofstra, he attended all the GBCR events, and he also had a chat with an alumnus that works at JP Morgan Chase, and he landed a job right after graduation. So next steps, create that all-star powerful LinkedIn profile, increase your connections, including Hofstra alumni, join the professional groups, research companies, also hold virtual chats with an alumni and others in your field of interest, and participate in GBCR events. We provide many opportunities for you to connect with Hofstra alum and employers, and attend the career fairs, and participate in graduate clubs.